investment of enough effort. A lot of it, I think, can be transformed by the consciousness that we shared before, but there's another type of laziness. We have to accept, every single one of us has to accept that in some ways we are lazy. And I think one, and I want to share this one because I think it's so, I know for myself it's very powerful, and I hope that for all of us, not just in the next 2 days, but the next year, we use this consciousness to prevent laziness. Because again, Rosh Hashanah says, you want to know why there's any lack in your life? You want to know why you haven't accomplished anything that you're meant to accomplish? You want to know why there are people who you're meant to help and you're not helping? Because you're lazy. A lot of us say, what are you talking about? I wake up so early in the morning, I work all day, I go to sleep late at night. I'm not lazy. Rosh Hashanah points, and it's related to something we said in the beginning. And I'd like to read these words because, as I said, I know for myself it really transforms the work, the life, and B'ezrat Hashem for all of us it will. There's 7 types of laziness that King Solomon speaks about. One of them, which Rav Ashlag speaks about, is Shema HaChacham Eino Bebeito. Those are the words that King Solomon uses. Maybe the wise man, right, if you're trying to gain wisdom, so you get the message, maybe the wise man isn't in the house. What is the secret of that laziness? Rav Ashlag says, the negative side says, שהוא לא יכול לדע בבירור אם הוא הולך בקדושה או לא. That you don't know for sure if this is the right thing to do. Is this really what is divinely directed? Because we know every single one of us, every single day, has a direction, again, both in our physical and spiritual lives, from the Creator. But I don't know. I think this is the right thing to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it tentatively, timidly. I'm going to do it because I really do think it's the right thing, but it's very different than if I know the Creator, if the Creator came to any one of us and said, listen, I need you today to invest 100% of your energy into the connections to Rosh Hashanah. There's no question, be honest with yourself, that every single one of our connections would be different. Because the Creator didn't come, I believe, I don't know, to most of us this morning, we did not have a great vision of a burning bush as we were walking to 54th Street in New York City, and the Creator, and suddenly we saw the burning bush and God spoke and heard, listen, Michael, I need you to invest 100% of your effort in every single second of the day. I didn't hear that. But I've been studying Kabbalah for, let's say, around 40 years, and I know it's really important, and I've made the decision to be here. You've made the decision to be here. You've made the decision to connect, streaming. It's a good thing. I really believe it's a powerful thing. That's laziness. That's laziness. That's laziness. So Rav Asher continues, he says, and again, I hope for you and for I and for all of us throughout the rest of the year, these words ring in our mind. How do I know that this is exactly the path, the exact action that the Creator is desiring for me to do? The light, your soul is telling you that you have to know that this is exactly the divinely ordained, the direction the Creator wants you to take. Ki nishmat adam telamdenu. Your soul will teach you. Your soul will teach you. And you will know for certain that you are going in the holy, in the right path, in the divinely ordained path. Let's talk about this for a moment because this is so important. And this is, again, I think where so many of us fail daily, die daily. I'll give an example from my own experience. Many of you know that, of course, I've had the merit to do countless Rosh Hashanahs with the Rav and with my mother. And those of you who remember, who are around, had the merit to be when the Rav would make the connections in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Besides the fact that Rav had a beautiful, powerful voice, it was also a spiritually significant connection on many levels. And you felt, those of us, again, when I was there, and I'm assuming most of us who were there, you felt, there's no question in my mind as I'm standing there, even at, 10 years old, 13 years old, 16 years old, the Creator really needs the Rav to be doing this work, and I'm so blessed to be able to be standing here on the side as the Rav is doing this divine work. And And then, after the Rav had the stroke and I began being the Shliach Tzibur, the Chazan, during Musaf, of course, there was no question in my mind this was important work. There was no question in my mind that the Creator is happy with what I'm doing. But if I was honest with myself, did I really think that the Creator, and tantamount to the same amount as when Moses heard the voice of God from the burning bush? No. So the negative side comes to each one of us and says, listen, it's good, keep doing it, it's good. That's very different than understanding, and this has to be my consciousness and your consciousness. The Creator came, has told your soul teaches you. Nishmat Adam telamdenu. It's coming from an awakening of your soul. It is not simply your soul, it is the light of the Creator through your soul telling you, and you have to live it with the fierceness and with the focus of the direct divine direction. Very different. We find this very often in the biblical stories. It says, for instance, when Reuven saw, most of us know the biblical story, the brothers were jealous of Joseph and they decide to throw him into a pit. Reuben, his soul was saying, Ishmat Adam Telamdenu, his soul was saying, listen, Reuben, this doesn't, I know they really think he's doing bad things, this is the right thing to do. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. You should do something about this. Go back there and bring him back to your father. Save his life, bring him back to your father. What happened in that moment? Reuben, as most of us do, said, this sounds like the right thought, but I'm not so sure. So he didn't go back. The Midrash, the Kabbalists tell us that had he known that this was the divine direction, he would have jumped into the pit, would have grabbed Joseph, put him on his shoulder, and run back to his father. Instead, he had the thought. He felt bad about it. But he never did it. Every single one of us is lazy. Every single, even those of us who are not lazy would fight, would be offended if anybody ever called us lazy. We're all lazy. Because there's that slight doubt. Or myself is in the paper. Yeah, I think it's the right, I'm studying for 30 years. Of course, I'm going to come in Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to make the connection, and throughout the rest of the year, I'm going to try to be a little bit not so selfish and a little bit more giving. It's all really good stuff I've learned, and we're going with our days. We do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but not with focus and with strength and with complete purpose, as if it was divinely inspired, divinely directed. What must change for us, certainly today in these 2 days, but throughout this year, Nishmat Adam Telamdenu, accept, believe your soul. And believe your soul not just as a good thought or as a good message, but believe it as it is directly what we call the mouth of God. It is the light of the Creator speaking to your soul. Don't be lazy. Don't have doubt that what your soul is telling you is the divinely directed thought for that moment, for that day, for that life, and you live it in a completely different way. Be honest with yourself, and I promise you this is true. When your soul tells you something, don't take it as a good idea and do it as a good idea. That's nothing. As Rav Asher would often say, you can stand by a table for 1,000 years and keep doing this. It will never break. You're doing almost nothing. Maybe after 100,000 years, you make a dent. It says the only true work, and this is both in the things that we do of the spiritual and the things that we do of the physical, it's got to be with full effort and force. Then there's a chance, not a chance, then we'll certainly have the effect. But we are all lazy. Lazy not because we're lazy people, maybe some of us are, but most of us are not, but because the negative side came in and just said, listen, your soul is saying this, but it's a nice idea. Do it. Go to Rosh Hashanah. Maybe stay at home. Make the connections and, No. That, I don't know how much that does. How much death, Chas v'Shalom, as we spoke earlier, that brings to every single day. Today, certainly. I am standing here and you are sitting there and you are watching from the house, and the Creator, your soul, because your soul told you, but don't take it as good advice from your soul. Take it as a divine direction from your soul. And what effort and what energy and what purpose goes once you know that this is the divine direction. And then throughout the rest of the year, you will have your soul. Nishmat Adam Tilamdenu, your soul will be teaching you and directing you. But don't listen as another wise advice that you're getting and do it 90%. Keep doing this. No. Full effort. Full investment. My soul is the divine direction. I trust my soul. And because I know that my soul isn't simply teaching me nice things, it's really directing me. It is the divine direction that I need to live today and tomorrow and this year. You will have a completely different life. But you have to live this. You have to live your soul. Trust your soul. Nishmat Adam Telamdenu. If you ask your soul to direct you, if you ask the light of the Creator to speak through you, you will hear it louder and louder. But what has to happen, the Creator has to say, well, I've given him or her direction, but they're doing it timidly. They're investing 50%, 60%, 80%, 90%. That doesn't change the individual. That doesn't change the world. If we want to make sure, not just in these 2 days, that we receive 100% of the light that the Creator is desiring to give us, and that we live, we do not die, do not give death to any of the next 363 days. Listen to what Rav Ashlag is telling us here. Nishmat Adam Telamdenu. Unlike Reuben, when he heard his soul tell him, listen, save your brother, he said, yeah, that's good advice, but I'm just not so sure. It would be really great if an angel or God just sort of came in front of me and told me to. I would run and I would grab him. I don't care what dangers there might be, and I'd bring him back to my father. The difference that we allow ourselves to have when we think it's just a good thing to do, as opposed to the divine direction from my soul today, it's like from the heavens to the earth. We want to have life this year. And we want to have life every single day. One of the most important aspects consciousness that we need to live is to stop being lazy. And if this offends you, then you're probably falling to this, especially because you're not lazy in any other area except in the good advice that you hear from your soul. Bezat Hashem, we will have the merit this year of Nishmat Adam Telamdenu, that my soul will direct me. And when the soul tells me, not only will I listen, I will do with full effort, with full force. Anything else is standing by the table for 1,000 years like this, trying to get it to break. My soul is going to teach me. Your soul teaches you every single day. And even the times that you listen, lazy. Bezat Hashem, we will have 100% of life this year, and we will hear our soul. We will know what to do, and not just do it as a good thing, but do it with 100% effort, with 100% investment, with 100% purpose, and that will change everything. Shalom.